Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior editor with RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. We're in the midst of our position previews for the coming season. We've done quarterback already. We're up to running back. We're going to do receiver, tight end. But for this year, we're doing something a little different. We're bringing in our top-rated players on RealTime Fantasy Sports, and we're going to get their insight. I just think it's great to bring these guys on because they're really good players. They know their stuff. They do the drafts. They put their money where their mouth is, so to say, and they produce. And so we want to get their advice on everything fantasy football. And we're going to do the running back preview today. And we're going to have on Todd Yost. He is the 6th rated player on our site. So he is in the top 10. He won the postseason shootout a few years back, and he almost won last year as well. It was a close call, but he narrowly lost. And he could have been a 2-time winner of the postseason shootout, which would have been remarkable. We've never had anything like that happen, but he does a great job in all the games, not just the postseason shootout. So we're going to get his viewpoint of this running back position, and I'm going to bring Todd up now. Todd, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, great to be here, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
Todd, so this running back position, before we get into specific players, I feel like it's a little different this year. If you want to get running backs, you got to act a little earlier, at least on our site, is what I'm seeing. I don't know if, about you, but that's kind of how I feel like it's playing out. The running backs are going fast and furious in a lot of drafts to start the year.
Yeah, totally agree with that. I mean, it's like a retro back to 20 years ago where everybody's taking running backs the whole first and second round. So, I mean, I think it's great. I'm a running back guy. I love running backs. It's kind of the way I grew up in fantasy and learned how to play the game. And it feels like I'm home. I mean, so yeah, but you're right. I mean, and again, I feel like you got to get a couple of those top 15, 20 guys just to even have a chance anymore. I mean, wide receiver, everything else is important. But I mean, I feel like if you're wait until the mid rounds to get a handcuff or somebody like that on another team, and that's going to be one of your running backs you're starting, you're way behind the 8 ball. So
I want to dive into this preview and look at the first couple rounds as well, because I feel like there are some question marks when it comes to the top players and even guys at the back end of the first and into the second round of who to take or who you're looking at. And then we're going to get into everything. We're going to talk about some mid-round values maybe and some late-round dart throws and some maybe some people you're avoiding as well. So we're going to cover it all. And I want to start with that first round, though. I think the big question, because I've seen it, I know you have as well, it's either Bijan, Gibbs, or Barkley as the first running back off the board. I've seen numerous different drafts, and all these guys have gone first overall at the running back position. If it's up to you, and you get to pick the first running back off the board, who are you going with?
Well, man, that's like asking me which one of Charlie's Angels I think is the best. I mean, they all are great. I mean, I have lots of shares of all of them. I mean, you can make an argument, I think, that Bijan over, Gibbs and Barkley just because of extraneous factors, Barkley's touches, things like that. You know what I mean? He had so many touches last year, and Gibbs has Montgomery. That's, obviously going to eat into his work, but, he's going to get a lot more receiving stuff. I think I've been reading this year anyway, and if they're going to split him out and use him as a receiver, that could, help mitigate that. But I think Bijan is the answer. And again, I think those average, the ADPs say that with, Bijan and Gibbs and Barkley are 2, 3, and 4. So, I mean, I think those are where guys are going. Bijan last year, I think it took him a while to get going. I mean, he averaged like 13 points in the first 5 weeks, but then the last 12, he was at like 23. And you know what I mean? I feel like with Penix and that offense, I think they're going to put up a lot of points. I think they're going to throw a lot. I think he's going to get more receiving stuff this year. I just love his opportunity. I think Atlanta's going to be a better offense. They got a good offensive line, and Bijan would be my pick.
I'm the same way. If I had to pick one of the three, I'm like you. I don't think you can go wrong with any of the three, but I guess it's Bijan now. I'm always going to say Bijan. I keep saying Bijan, but I look at this and I forget that he says it's pronounced Bijan. Either way, I think he's the guy if I have to pick one of the three, but I'm happy with any of them. I'm a little concerned now with Barkley, though, with the offensive line issues. They got some injuries there, and they could scale back his work a little bit also. So that worries me a little bit. I still think he's going to have a fantastic season, but I'm going Bijan if I have to take one of the three. I think the other big question mark in the first round is Christian McCaffrey, though. Are you going to take a chance on him? Do you feel like he's worth the risk? We all know the injury history. Are you going to take a chance on Christian McCaffrey in the first round?
Yeah, absolutely. I will at the right price. I mean, that's pretty much well, you can say that about anybody. I
Yeah.
mean, at the right price, I'm going to buy him. And for McCaffrey, for me, I think it's, after you get through that first 6, 7 picks, and if he's still sitting there, if I can get him at the back half of the first round, I feel like it's a win. You know what I mean? You can get him 10, 11, 12, somewhere like that, where real early in drafts, when I was drafting back in June, those kind of drafts, you could get him there. It's not usually happening as much now. He's going a little bit higher. He's getting pushed up. And again, most of the guys around him are getting hurt. So now that, the Jordan James and Garendo and all those guys have injuries that were even, handcuffs for him. So it's making it, I think, even easier. I was afraid they were maybe going to eat some of his carries, but at this point, San Francisco is going to have to ride him until they, die or win, one or the other. I mean, because they ain't got much left, receiving wise and or otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny. My notes are basically exactly what you said. I I will take a chance on him at the end of the first round. I feel like his price tag has gone up in recent weeks, which is exactly what you said. He's going 6 or 7 in most drafts right now, it seems like. And you're right. I don't know if I want to go that early on him, but the end of the first round, I like it. I mean, he's led fantasy running backs in scoring, I believe, 3 times. So there's not many backs capable of that. And if you can get him at the end of the first round, I say go for it. I still don't know if I want to take him 6 or 7, though,
I
personally.
think it's tough, but I mean, if you look at it and you say to yourself, like, and again, this is all any guy you're saying, like, if he's healthy, or if I can get 16 games out of him. I mean, if you knew for sure at the beginning of the year you get 16 games out of McCaffrey and he was going to be healthy, he's number one probably. He's probably the first pick. I mean, maybe. He was last year, and that didn't work out so well for me, but I'm hoping this year on the other end of the draft it'll work out better.
So I feel like after that first group is off the board, you get into like the end of the first or mainly the second round, but there's a group of backs really similar. I feel like they're all going in different orders come draft day. And I wanted to get your thoughts on who you like or trust the most out of like Derrick Henry, A-Chain, Bucky Irving, Taylor, Chase Brown. I feel like that's just a huge group of backs, very similar value. Who do you like out of that crowded backfield?
I mean, for me, it's a no-brainer. For me, it's Henry. Every time, all the time. I mean, I've taken him in the end of the first round. If I don't have anybody else I really want to take there, I mean, I would take him before that receiver group of like Brian Thomas's, Nico Collins, those guys. Just because, I mean, Derrick Henry is just a freak of nature. I mean, that guy is like, I will never doubt him again. I doubted him a couple years ago, and it like last year I thought I'd said I'm not doubting him this year. I took him everywhere I could, and it paid off big. And again, I just feel like that offense is too good. I mean, with Lamar Jackson, and they got a great offensive line, and how do you defend that offense? I mean, it's almost impossible. You know what I mean? So
True.
I think the floor for Henry out of all those guys is much higher than anybody else due to various reasons, health for Taylor and, other guys eating into carries for other guys. But I don't think that many carries are going to get taken away from Derrick Henry. And I think when you have a floor for touchdowns of 12 to 15 as a floor, you're probably pretty safe. You know what I mean? So definitely Henry for me out of that group. No doubt about it.
You're right. Henry definitely is the safest of those. And I was like you, I didn't take any shares of Henry last year. I was just worried about his age and moving to a new team. I thought he might not get a lot of goal line like touchdowns with Lamar Jackson running him in, but he proved me wrong, and I should not do that. So I'm not avoiding him this year, but I'm really high on Chase Brown this year. I just think he's going to have another huge season. He didn't open the season last year as a starter. He was still 10th overall in fantasy scoring. I think he's going to be more involved in the passing game this year, which should help his work as well. And the Bengals have just a huge, huge history of producing great fantasy backs around the end zone. So like Joe Mixon, even when he wasn't great, he was getting the goal line work. He's scoring a ton of touchdowns every year. I think Chase Brown's set up for that again this year. So I'm kind of leaning Brown just slightly over Henry because I like his ceiling more, but I think you're right. I think Henry is the safer of those 5 options, but I like Brown. I'm going all in on him this year. A lot of shares of him.
I like him too. I mean, he looked good the other night. Did you catch any of that preseason game the
I
other
did.
day? Yeah,
Yeah.
he looked good. He looked good in
Looked
that
a little
game.
bigger.
Yeah, actually, I thought he looked explosive.
Yeah.
And again, that offense is going to be just ridiculous. They're going to have to score 45 points a game to win because their defense is so terrible. I mean, and that was proven out in that preseason game. I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns and gave up 2 touchdowns, and that's pretty much what I think it'll feel like what it's going to be for them all year. So, yeah, if he stays healthy, I think he's going to put up an enormous year.
So everybody loves rookies, and I think the clear top rookie running back's Ashton Genty. Everybody knows that. But after him, I think it's kind of crowded. You got Harvey, Henderson. You got a whole bunch of different options there. Amarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson. So there's definitely some backs that could make an impact. So this doesn't even have to be who you think the second-rated rookie back is, but maybe a rookie back you're at least targeting. Like, who do you like after Genty that you like to try to maybe get on your roster out of the rookie running backs?
Well, it's Hampton. I mean, it would be my choice, especially after the Najee Harris fireworks incident. And now again, I temper that by saying after Rashawn Slater went out for the year last week, I mean, that, kind of maybe put a little damper on my Hampton love. But I mean, again, I feel like he's going to get a lot of opportunity in the Jim Harbaugh offense, especially if Najee's not there and, they're not splitting carries. And I think he'll still be really good. I think Joe Alt can flip the left tackle, and I think their offensive line will be okay. It just kind of stinks that, you just pay that left tackle all that money, and, he's a great, especially run block. He's a great run blocker, and now that's all out the window before you even play a game. So that's football, I guess. But
yeah,
Hampton is the guy for me. I mean, Travion Henderson looked unbelievably explosive, in that game last night, 2 nights ago, whenever it was. And again, I think I like the role he'll probably have with, Stevenson eating up the stuff inside and taking the inside work, and then him, swing passes and, outside stuff. And I think he's got, he reminded me a little bit of Jahmyr Gibbs when I was watching him the other night in that game.
Good comparison.
And I feel like if I can get Jahmyr Gibbs in the 7th, 8th round or something, I've done pretty good. Or whenever Henderson's gone. But yeah, those 2 would be my 2.
So that's my pick is Travion Henderson. I like Hampton. I agree with you. I think he's going to have a big season. I'm just worrying about his price tag. It's really creeping up there a little bit. So I think Henderson, I like
he's
him.
In the 3rd round now. That's tough, but
yeah, it's tough. But again, he could be another really good rookie back. But I'm going Henderson for a lot of the reasons you mentioned. I mean, he averaged 7.1 yards per carry last season in college. He ran back a kick for a touchdown in this game. I don't like him on special teams, but I don't want him back there taking picks. But you're right, though. I love his ability to catch the ball. I mean, he didn't really get a lot of chances to catch the ball in college, but he's showing that he can be a really good back out of the backfield. We know Josh McDaniels loved to throw to the running back. So if Henderson can get, 70 plus catches, even if he's not getting a ton of carries with Stevenson, like you mentioned, getting a lot of the inside work, I still think Henderson can have a huge fantasy season. So that's a guy I'm kind of targeting right now, but a little worried about his price tag now after the preseason. The stuff's all going to be fluid. So it should be interesting to see what this does to his value.
The great thing about fantasy football, Jeff, you gotta modify your strategy on the fly.
Exactly. So let's do the flip side now. We just talked about a lot of our early round favorite players and some rookies, but what about backs you're avoiding in the top 20? So top 20 ADP backs, any guy you're just kind of shying away from, you don't have much stock of at this point.
Yeah, there's a couple guys. And again, it's not that I don't like them at the right price, but, because I did just take one of these guys in our Champs League draft the other day. So, but James Cook worries me. regression just from there's no way he was going to score 18. If he plays every game, he's not going to score 18 touchdowns. And he seems pretty dug in on this contract stuff. You know what I mean? And again, I know he's practicing some, but I think the more he sits out, the more opportunity Ray Davis has, the more this slides towards a, even bigger timeshare than it was last year, which again, he did all that in not a lot of touches last year, which again is kind of odd and I don't think can repeat itself this year. So he just got things working against him. The other guy that kind of makes me nervous is Kamara. And the reason why is just, I feel like that offense is going to be brutal. I mean, that quarterback room is just not good. I mean, Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck and Jake Hayner. I mean, yeah. Like, I don't know how you go into a football season with that as your quarterback room. I'm not even sure, I get what the Saints are trying to do, but Arch Manning ain't coming anytime soon. So, and I feel like Kamara is on the downside. I think the one thing I would say about Kamara is my hope for him would be maybe he gets traded. I'd like the trade deadline and go somewhere else. But I feel like he might get you 5 dump down passes for 30 yards a week, but I just don't see them scoring much offensively.
And Kellen Moore does not have a history of throwing to the running backs a ton either.
No, and again, like I said, with the guys throwing him the ball, I'm not sure it matters what Kellen wants to do.
Yeah, it's bad. That might be as bad as I've seen a quarterback room in the last 10 years. It's really bad, really bad. So my pick, go. No, you can go ahead. You got.
No, I said I feel bad for Kamara because I think he still does have a couple good.
I agree.
He could have a couple good years left, but that is not the place to do it right now. So.
My pick is, again, you talked about it as well. It's all about price tag, but Devin Achane just kind of worries me a little bit. His ADP is 12. I love the fact he racks up the catches, so that gives him a great weekly floor. Don't get me wrong, but you already heard Tyreek Hill saying he shouldn't be the goal line back, Achane, so you worry about his touchdown there, his touchdown potential. Also, he just doesn't run for a lot of yards. 907 rushing yards is his career best. They like to rotate backs there. They got Wright there and the rookie as well. So I think that Achane, just for the price tag, I don't know. I just don't know if I want to do that with the guys going around him. I think I feel better about taking players in that similar price range for him. I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor, even Chase Brown, Bucky Irving. I don't mind as well. So I just worry about Achane a little bit. I don't know if I love his ceiling. So I don't think I have any shares of him at this point.
I have a few. And again, the other thing that concerns me about Achane is, he's so dependent on Tua that, if Tua goes out, that offense falls off a cliff when Tua doesn't play. So, I mean, and again, I don't wish anything bad on Tua, but he takes a lot of hits and he's got a bad concussion history, and that never bodes well usually for a quarterback.
Agreed. So let's talk about some middle round targets. You mentioned it, and I agree. I'm going early on running backs, but some people like to wait a little bit and take some chances. So if you're gonna pick in the middle rounds, looking for some running backs to target, you have any you like there in the middle rounds of drafts?
Yeah, I do actually. Jordan Mason. I don't know if you even consider him a middle round guy anymore. I mean,
he is now.
Yeah. He's for the moment, but he's been getting pushed up higher and higher. But I mean, he was a great middle round value, I think, earlier in drafts. I mean, because I think he's going to have a big role in that offense. And again, that's another offense that, just seems to churn out points for everybody. So let's hope that happens. I mean, Aaron Jones is still going to get touches, obviously, unless he gets hurt. But, and if Mason would take over that role as the full-time number one guy, I think he's, potential league winner. You know what I mean? But he's one guy. Another guy who I was kind of I've been looking at, and I liked in college was Braylon Allen with the Jets. And honestly, I feel like the Jets they're trying to recreate Detroit, basically, except with a running quarterback instead of a throwing quarterback. And I really feel like Braylon Allen's going to get a lot of touches, which seems kind of crazy. I like Breece Hall a lot too, but I see him more in the Gibbs role and Braylon Allen in the Montgomery role. And Braylon Allen looked really good the other day too in the preseason game they played. He looked explosive, he looked like he lost weight from last year. And I think he's solid value in the middle round.
Yeah, I was gonna mention him. That was one of my picks, Braylon Allen. I like that call with him. Again, I think he could end up inching up a little bit more as we get closer to the start of the season, as they look to be more of a timeshare and people get wind of that. So could be a really good value right now. I like that pick. I have Jalen Warren too. I'm kind of intrigued by him, just for the fact of Aaron Rodgers. I don't want any shares of Aaron Rodgers on my team, quite frankly, but we
Come on,
know
he's
he,
married now. He's all
yeah,
calmed down.
yeah. He's Arthur Smith and him. That should be intriguing how that's going to play out, because Arthur Smith likes to run the ball. Rodgers is going to audible out of those runs a lot, I think, and he's going to throw it a lot. He likes to check down these days a ton as well. And Jalen Warren's the guy who's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. Caleb Johnson's going to be the more grounded pound guy. So I think Warren could have a really big season catching the ball. So I like his weekly floor because of that. I think he's going to get a ton of catches. Don't know what he's going to do running the ball. I think Caleb Johnson's going to get a lot of that work, but I still think Warren could end up being a big fantasy factor this year. Not much, not a league winner like Jordan Mason could be, but I think for the value, Warren right now is ADP's 82. I like that. I think he could end up being a good, weekly flex play because of his ability to catch the ball and have Rodgers throw it to him.
Yeah, my wife's a Steelers fan, so I guess I have to agree with you.
All
I feel like a lot, and the other thing I will say about that is I feel like a lot of that Caleb Johnson steam that was going early is starting to, slide off a little bit with them talking about him not pass protect well. And if he's not getting any third down work, I mean, I feel like Warren's going to get at least some of the carries. He may not get a ton of them, but I mean, if he's getting all the passing down stuff and even, 40% of the carries, he's way more valuable than Caleb Johnson, which I would have thought would have been flipped earlier in the draft season. But
yeah, for sure. Let's talk about some late round sleepers, some guys you're just taking some chances on. You're late in a draft. It's a deep draft. You just want to throw a couple darts and take a chance on a couple of running backs. Maybe one of them will hit. Who you got for that category?
Well, a couple I've been on for a while, and one that just has recently come into my stratosphere. I mean, the original guys, I like the Roschon Johnson, Kyle Monangahe. Somebody's going to get that work with the Bears, you know what I mean? With Johnson. I don't know which one it's going to be. I've been trying to kind of take each one an equal amount of times when I get later. And I think they both, from what I've been reading, doing fairly well in camp. Monangahe looked pretty good the other day when they played in their preseason game. So, I mean, those two are late. I like, and I think that offense could be better. I don't know, man. I was really in on Caleb Williams last year, and I'm hoping he looks better than he did last year. But, the stuff coming out, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's just he doesn't process information well or what, but I'm hoping that he looks better than he did last year, and that doesn't hold that whole offense back, because I think they got a lot of players that could be explosive. But
I agree.
Those two would be my two for that. And then Taj Brooks lately. Once they cut Moss in Cincinnati and Chase Brown's backup was either P. Ryan or Brooks, I think Brooks could get a chance this year. And he did look decent the other night too. He looked kind of explosive. Guy that a lot of people were talking about. I mean, I guess if you do this like we do and you're drafting high volumes and whatever, then maybe but the average person that does fantasy football has no idea who Taj Brooks is. So, and hopefully though, I think he could definitely beat out P. Ryan. Well, I'm not saying he's ever going to beat out Chase Brown, but injuries happen. And if he got a chance in that offense again, you almost can't help but score points when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Higgins and everybody else is around you.
So I like to go into these with my guests and not know who they're picking. And you'll know this because I picked the exact same late round sleeper as Todd, and it's Kyle Monangahe. I like Monangahe too. I have a ton of stock of him. I know it doesn't make for great video. We're picking the same player, but I just think I haven't taken as much Roschon Johnson. I just think I just don't trust him as much. I just think maybe the new coaching staff took Monangahe and maybe they have something they like what they've seen in him, but I'm taking a lot of chances on him. Why not? As you mentioned with the Jets, they're trying to replicate the Lions offense, and I think the Bears are going to do the same thing with maybe a 1-2 punch at running back. And I like DeAndre Swift. I think he's decent for the price tag he's getting, but he definitely has question marks. So I could see Monangahe ending up being a good late round pick for a lot of fantasy
Yeah.
owners, and maybe getting some chances there. And
Yeah, we are thinking alike, because I was just going to say about Swift. I've taken a lot of Swift, and the more we get into this, the more I'm starting to question myself that, you know what, he could end up on the bottom of a 3-headed monster, and you know what I mean. I hope that doesn't happen, but I mean it certainly could. It's within the realm of possibility that all of a sudden it's Mahongahay and Johnson playing, and Swift is on the bench.
I agree. My other pick's another rookie though, kind of similar, I feel like, and it's Brashard Smith with the Chiefs. They rotate back so much, you never know what they're going to do. Pacheco didn't look great last year. Smith's explosive. I think they could use him as a pass catcher if they're not using him to run the ball, especially early in the season if Rice is suspended and you got a couple guys banged up with injury too. So I'm like, why not take a chance on Brashard Smith? Explosive player and a great offense. So I think he's a good late round dart throw as well if you're looking for an option there.
Absolutely. Can't go wrong with Kansas City.
Nope, can't go wrong. I think that passing game is going to be much better this year, and people are kind of sleeping on Patty Mahomes a little bit after a couple down seasons. I think he's going to come back with a vengeance this year. Quite personally,
I'm not one of them sleeping on him. I got far too many shares of Patrick Mahomes already.
Awesome. Well, Todd, thanks so much for coming on and talking running back, getting everybody ready for the coming fantasy season. It's always great to talk with you. I appreciate it. Just a lot of great info that you gave everybody today. I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Sorry I was stealing all your info.
I didn't know. Okay. Great minds think alike, right, Todd? Great minds think alike. Exactly. All right, Todd. Thanks so much. Thanks to everybody out there for watching as well. We're going to get to the receiver preview and tight end preview in the coming days. But that was Todd Yost, our 6th rated player on the RealTime Fantasy Sports. So he does a great job. And I appreciate everybody out there for watching. I appreciate you for tuning in, and good luck in all your upcoming drafts. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day, everyone.